prayer, George. Prayer for the whole world.
All right, first of all, who I am is I'm George Zilla, aka just Zilla, the serial killer. All right, and we're trying to call myself the serial killer because every time I come to a stage, I murder. You did. Who I am, first of all, I'm a person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a human being, but no, I'm a father of 5. I'm also a husband. Got a job. I would like to disclose that because, you know, my job is kind of, I'm like Tommy. I can't be telling y'all what my job is. You know what I'm saying? But no, but I'm a comedian though. That's who I am. That's who Zilla is. Zilla's a comedian.
Okay, so Zilla, the comedian.
Yes, sir.
How did you get started?
Man, I got started. It's crazy, man. The first time I really got a taste. Honestly, man, it was in my DNA. I'm gonna start to go away since we got time, and this is what we do. It started back in my DNA, man. My family is all got some kind of comedy style to them. You know, everybody was always funny, man, especially on my mom's side. So when we all got together, it was always laughs. How I got started, man, I think the first time I really honestly graced the stage was in first grade, man, when I clowned in front of the classroom. My teacher called me up, and I went up and acted an ass. You know what I'm saying? I acted an ass.
So, when did you first get your first start? How long has it been since you had your first start on the stage? And how did you get acclimated to getting on the stage? What got you started to doing stage comedy or just doing comedy in front of people?
Oh, all right. So what really started me, man, like I had my homeboy was doing a car show down at the Civic, in the little small spot in the back. They was doing a little car show. And my homeboy Samori Coles asked me to host a show for him. He was like, in high school, you know, in school, I always had this personality, man. I always was a clown, you know. I mean, I was a thug, I ain't gonna lie, man. I was gangster, but I was cool. You know, when I was cool, I was a clown, you know what I'm saying? I always had a little funny personality about me, man. And even growing up in church, I always took leads in stage plays, so I always was, you know, used to being in front of the crowd, so that was cool. So I wasn't never afraid to be in front of the crowds, but so I did that stage, you know, introducing, because my homeboy then was doing the music and, you know, for the show and shit. And you know, I grabbed the mic, man, and it was something, you know, when you MC, you know, because really I started off really hosting before I actually took the mic as a comedian. So, you know, I felt that, you know, I was like feeling that shit, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, you know, because I was able to put my own little spin, my own little, you know, my own little spit on it, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of felt like, dang, man, I kind of was feeling that bug, you know, I was kind of feeling this. So I was dating this girl, man, at the time, and she had a friend that was a comic. So she invited me over because she heard me, you know, mention something about it before. So she had a friend come down from Minnesota, and I wish I could remember this dude's name because, real talk, I owe this dude for my start. So we at our house having dinner and whatnot, and he's going to do a show there at this spot called Jokers. You know, y'all got to excuse me.
So, Jokers, where was that located at?
Jokers was like back then. It was I think it was like 13th and Jackson or something.
13th and Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way back in the day, man. You
okay.
know? So we sitting at the table, man. You know, we talking, man, and he picked up on my personality, man. some people, man, got what they call the third eye or whatever you want to call it, man. You can see some things in some people that other people can't see, or, you know what I'm saying? And by him being a comic, and he been doing it for a while, he seen something in me, so he was like, bruh, let me tell you, man, I'm going to tell you how to get started. You know what I'm saying? And he gave me the blueprint on how to get started, you know what I'm saying? And I took that blueprint, and the reason why I say I've been doing it for 20 years from the day he gave me the blueprint, that was the day I actually started writing and doing, you know, and practicing and honing my craft in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you know, and I kind of gave a little bit of secret away with that one, but it's really not a secret, man. You know, most comics know. But it really is a real, you know, a real key to being a good comic is, man, you got to be able to see what the audience see.
So, when you first got on stage, how did the crowd take you? How did they, your first time getting on stage?
Oh, man.
How did the crowd receive you?
So my very first start, man, was I got the MC and do my very first comedy set. And so I was MC and doing a comedy set all in the first one night for Vernon Gary Jr. And Vernon Gary Jr. was a famous blues singer here out of Omaha. And he was getting ready to retire from doing blues, and I think he was getting ready to do gospel, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So his grandson put on the show, and he was a friend of my brother's, and he was like, I'm like, shit, here's my chance, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm gonna sell myself. I like, hey, bro, you know, I'm a comedian, man, you know, and I MC, because I did MC a show before, but I never did comedy before, but I like, this is my chance, you gotta start somewhere. So I got my big chance. I did the show.
So you killed the show?
I killed the show for the younger crowd fans.
Okay.
The older crowd, because Vernon Garrett is an older dude, and it was more of an older crowd in blues. My comedy was more Def Jam.
Oh, a little more.
It was real rugged and rough.
Well, yeah, a little vulgar.
Man.
Oh, did they say vulgar?
Yeah, it was vulgar, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I actually heard a lady, and it's crazy, man, because, you know, I was, you know, we wore suits. I was in suit. You know, I was in a suit. You know, I was looking Steve Harvey-ish.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Classy.
Classy. You know what I'm saying? But I heard a older lady walk by with her husband. She like, I was so appalled. And I was like, damn. And at first it kind of stunned me, but then it was like, damn. It also kind of lit a light bulb. I said, she appalled, and I must have did something right because, you know,
exactly.
I hit them nerves, and she heard me. And that was the key thing, was they heard me. You know what I'm saying? So from there on, you know, after that, I picked and choose my stages wisely so I can do the type of comedy that I like to do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so another question is, or my next question for you is, the venues. What has been, okay, does the venue matter, or how good the comedy is, or let's say a classy venue, is that better than a hole in the wall, or how does that go? I mean, what was the best experiences, and what was some of the worst experiences?
So that's a good, I like that. So to me, I'm gonna tell you, man, one of my best shows, honestly, my homeboy Wes, he had a tire shop actually called the Wet Spot, but he cleaned it out, put a lot of hard work, sweat and tears, built a stage, had food, and we was doing a New Year's, it was basically New Year's Eve party, you know what I'm saying? But it was that one winter, that New Year's when it was frigid.
2018,
it was frigid. I'm talking about, man, the ones that came out, bless their heart, man, but it wasn't really, it wasn't a turnout that I thought it was, and I was a little pissed off at first, man, because we had been hyping it up, and I was really feeling for my homeboy who dumped a lot of bread in this. I mean, you know, man, he spent countless hours and man, up nights building and cleaning, and You know what I'm saying? I helped him out, as much as I could, you know what I'm saying? But the brother put a lot of time and money in it, and so that kind of hurt me, man, because that was my boy, and he was doing this for us, you know what I'm saying? So, but he told me, man, he was like, man, bro, he said, man, it's all good. Brother's like, it's all good, man. We can still put on a show for the people who's here. We had the music, sound set up, everything was cool.
How was the food?
The food was great.
Catfish hidden.
The catfish was hidden. The food was good. Hey, I want to talk a little bit more about that though, man. That even though a whole lot of people wasn't there, the atmosphere, the whole feeling, the entrance was on point. This is where the Zilla entrance really started at, to where it was perfected that night. Everything was
okay.
It was perfected that night, because that's where now I can't come in unless I come in like that because of that night.
Right.
Excuse me, because of that. So
so you set a tone.
Set the tone, man. And even though it was a small venue in a garage, basically, that was probably one of the most humbling and most great experiences I had as a comic. You know what I'm saying? Because it was personal, but it was cool. The energy level was there, man. I wish I had to tape that shit, man, because that was one of the dopest shows, man. And the one I did a couple of weeks ago, you know what I'm saying, with Javon Van Crump, when they brought their crew down. I mean, it's been some good shows, though, but those have probably been my two most favorite right there.
Without exposing some of the clubs, you might could say some things that are inside the clubs or whatever, but without saying the names of the club or the venues. What were some of the more terrible, shows that you've experienced?
Oh man, I could probably name a couple, man. The worst experience I had, I don't care. I'll name this shit, if I had to. But I know I had a bad experience over in Council Bluffs.
Okay.
Actually, at the Go-Go Club, it was one of the homegirls tried to throw a comedy club in the back of lipsticks.
At the strip club?
At the strip club, but
not dipsticks.
No, lipstick.
Okay. I'm about to say I couldn't do no comedy in a motherfucking.
But it wasn't in the. It wasn't in the.
Flipping his pippers.
They got like a club in the back.
Okay, they do.
Yeah, it was like a little small little area in the back, and
okay.
shit, but it had a stage and everything. So I was like, damn, I didn't even know nothing about that, man. But the strippers were like on the other side though. But it was not professionally done, and I basically was on there less than 5 minutes before I flipped out, man, and I gave everybody
flipped out?
Yeah, bro. I said, fuck everybody, man. I gave everybody the finger and walked off. Told old girl, give me some gas money, and I'm leaving this motherfucker. And that's what I did, bro. I actually, man, I guess, when, well, you didn't ask me that question, so I just had to tell you how I got my name.
Okay, well, we gonna get to that. We gonna get to that.
Because I flipped out.
But let's go ahead. Let's get into how did you get your name Zilla?
So how I got my name Zilla, man, which is this is I'm gonna go back a little bit, man. This Club Seville's, man. I was actually it was probably my third time actually really getting on stage, man, but I was MCing, but as you MC, you still do your comedy shit. And I was MCing. I didn't want to do it at first because the night before I was just at a club, Shay Riley's, which is now the Lookout or the Hideout or wherever the name that motherfucker is. What is it, Lookout now?
I don't
remember. They keep hiding out and looking out and all that shit. But back then it was called Shay Riley's, and the night before I had just did like an open mic, it was like a variety comedy, or not variety comedy show. It was like a showcase show where you can showcase your talent. And my homeboy Reginald Clark, I give him a shout out, had put me on and told me to come out, man. And so I took stage on that and blew that shit up, man. Like I was only supposed to be up for 5 minutes. They had me up for like an hour, bro.
For an hour?
For an hour.
Is
man.
that one of your longest shows?
That's one of my longest. Yep, that's probably one of my longest. I think my second longest is the one I did with Red down at Connections.
Okay.
But that was the first show I did when I first came back out of Zilla. But before I get to that, how I became Zilla was I was at the Sevilles. I was hosting the show and I was tired as fuck. I didn't really want to do it. And at that time, I was drinking Hennessy, or as I call it, he say.
That yak.
That yak, or I'll call it he say, because whatever he say, go that night.
Oh, shit.
Y'all can, don't nobody use that. That's copyright infringement. He say. But whatever he say, go. That motherfucker, I'm on the stage doing my shit, man. And this cat I know was heckling me and shit, just really kind of fucking with me, man. And so, being the ex-gangster that I was, kind of forgot about being a comic and kind of turned into a thug back then, so, because that Hennessy had a nigga going, and before I know it, I done got off the stage, and I done went up to the nigga's table, I'm about to turn up, but luckily I caught my composure, man, and all that, and got back on stage and redid what I had to do, man, but I was really embarrassed because I let somebody let me get out of character. So that night, and I sure believe it was Bubba Ice that was hosting. I mean, that was the main commentator that night, because he said he remembered, and I believe that's who it was. But anyway, that night, there was a female comic that was that went on before the headliner. So the headliner came up to me like, man, you killed that shit, man, good job, man, you a funny, woo, gave my dash, whatever, The females, and this is what I love about y'all females at times, when y'all tell the truth, is when y'all tell the truth. Some of y'all keep it real 100, man. She came up to me, she said, look, bro, she said, man, you funny as hell, man. Like, you really got, you gonna go far, man. But she said, you gotta keep your temper in check. She said, don't let the crowd get to you. She said, you gotta ignore that shit. She said, either ignore it or pop off on them, say some shit to them, and then get back to your set. Because she said, at the end of the day, anybody pay to see them motherfuckers, they come to see you.
Yeah, they kind of deteriorate the show.
They really do.
I really do hate hecklers.
I hate hecklers, man, because you're taking away from the show. Here's what I hate about hecklers. If you come to see the show, to see a comedy show, then come see a fucking comedy show. Or else you want to heckle or want to be a comedian, then become a motherfucking comedian. That's all I got to say about that. But Zilla was born from that night because I had actually took almost a year or almost 2 years off. Almost 2 years off and not doing no comedy because I was like, man, maybe I ain't ready for this shit. Maybe this ain't for me because, yeah, I know I'm funny, but if I can't control this shit, man, ain't nobody gonna want to fuck with me, man. And that's probably why I think I might have got a bad rap earlier on in my career because niggas like, man, Zilla funny, but we don't know if that nigga gonna snap or not. You know what I'm saying? So, but that really wasn't the case. I'm really a cool ass dude, man. Just don't fuck me over though, you know what I'm saying? But I took what old girl took to heart, and so I was sitting at my computer one day, man, and I'm like, damn, man, I want to get back into comedy. And my homeboy was like, man, you need to be doing comedy, man. You sitting on your gift, people always tell me, man, you sitting on your gift, man. And I'm like, damn, the shit was eating away at me, because like, fuck, man, that's what I love to do. So I was like, man, I ain't gonna let nobody stop me from doing this shit. So long story short, I seen somebody was supposed to put out a contest at Funny Bone. Come to find out it was bogus. But so I was mad at the motherfucker. So Facebook first came out. So I was like, man, I'm mad. I wanted to do this show and shit, win this contest and shit, because I felt like I could have won the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So my homeboy Red Jefferson said, well, hey, you know what, bro? Give it up. I'll give a shout out to Best yet. You know what I'm saying? Give the crew a shout out. He had put a show on for me down at this Connection Bar, man, and we had a nice turnout, and I was like, I gotta come up with a new gimmick. I gotta come up with a new name. I gotta come up with something that really fits my persona. So my persona, man, is I can't get a little mean, man. I'm intimidating. I'm 6'4", man, 300-something pound dude, man. I ain't no little motherfucker, man. I look like a Zilla. I look like my name should be Zilla. You know what I'm saying? Shit that fits me. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different, my name, I can't see myself being called Mouse or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
So with that being said, man, I always loved Godzilla movies ever since I was little, man. I got a 6-year-old son, man, the same way. He loved Godzilla. So I always loved Godzilla movies, man, and I got to sitting there thinking, man, like, Godzilla, George Zilla. I said, yeah, and I got to thinking about little acronyms to go with it, because, why would you call yourself Zilla? Why would you call yourself George Zilla or whatever? And I'm like, cuz, and then, you know, you come on a motherfucking stage, you burn that shit up and you leave. What did Godzilla do? He come to motherfucking Tokyo, poor Tokyo, they had to rebuild every movie. Well, whoever had that motherfucking construction, whoever
was
had,
paid.
They got paid.
Paid.
Yeah, whoever had that goddamn contract was on.
They stayed paid.
Stayed paid, because Godzilla was fucking that place up.
Tearing it up.
But that's what he did. He came, tore up, whooped some ass, and left, and went back to Monster Island. That's what I do. I go back to Monster Island, nigga.
So, how did you come up with First String Comics? What is First String Comics, and how did you come up with First String Comics or meet First String Comics?
First String Comics came up to me. It was a concept that came up to me about 2 years ago, man. I did a show called Showing Me the Dough. I'm laughing because, you know, about that. And I met some young comics there, man, at the show that was trying to win this contest, trying to win this belt that promoter Robert Wagner put on. And so I met some young comics there, man, because I was hosting the show. And I'm one of them people that sit back and really watch people, man. Like, I really pay attention to people, man. So I did a couple of shows with some of the same comics that's down with me now was in, and over the course of time, we started being in the same spots. We started being on the same shows and shit. So we started doing skits together. We started becoming a family, man. So one day I was sitting up and I came up with the concept. I came up with the concept like, damn, all these cats could be headliners. Every one of them could be a headliner.
Let's name the First String Comics. What's the name of the first? Who was in the First String Comics?
So First String is Kill Theodric, Carmela Anderson, Keonis Berry, DC Cronin, Jason Regan, Cameron Loxton, Don Rieger, Jan Dorsey, Brianna Brewer, Rashad Vaughn, and Haley Raven, Ada Austin, Osman, I think I said her name right. And if I messed it up, I'm sorry, Ada. And I probably said your first name wrong. I'm sorry. Oh, and damn, man, I'm sorry. Damn, man, she gonna kill me. Oh, Brandy Allure. So yeah. So those are the comics.
Okay.
Well, Brandy's not a comic. She does the art, but she be in a lot of videos, but she's still a member, you know what I'm saying? But she does like body paint and art. And, she has done some some open mics and shit. So yeah.
Okay. Well, next is what names have you worked with? What was this say? Was not say. What big names have you worked with? What names have you worked with?
Well, I work with a lot. As far as names, man, I work with mostly a lot of the internet comics. First of all, I started off with Mojo Brooks. If you know who is, AKA he does the Mr. James. Kirkland. Oh man, what is his last name? No, first name. It's Kirkland. He does oh man, see, that's crazy. I'll be forgetting names. I come back to him. I did Barry Brewer. He's on BET's Two Can Play That Game, and Big Job Minx. They do. They with My Crew Stupid. All three of those do a lot of internet skits. So I opened up for them this year, which was awesome, man. I had a good time with them, and then. I work with Bubba Cool Ice and Boomerang. Boomerang's about to be on the Netflix special. Boomerang, matter of fact, she's gonna be And one of the shows the First String is going to be at up in Colorado, you know, that I'm getting ready to go to here in end of March. And then Bubba Cool Ice, he been out for like 30 years, man. He cool people, man. I've also opened up for a famous poet, Georgia Meade Harper, down in Georgia. She's an award-winning poet, and she been like on Def Poetry Jam. She been on there numerous of times, so I got to open up for her and host for her. Let me see. I feel like I'm missing some people, man. But
I mean, it's some local ones also that you work with. You know, I'm saying like let's say Jabber. Have you worked with Jab?
I never worked with Jabber Go.
Oh, they never worked with Jab?
Never worked with Jabber Go.
Okay.
We talked about it recently, but we never worked with Jabber Go. I haven't. Speaking of Jabber Go, he's kind of like always been like. Like I told him last time I seen him, I told him I thank him for fueling my fire because I reached out to him years ago, and he actually told me that he don't look into his Facebook, so I give him that because a lot of people don't. But I sent out a message when I first was trying to get out to reach out and try to get some advice though, but it's all good. You know, I charged it to the game because that actually made my drive go even harder and do all the shit myself, and I did, man, because I made a name for myself, and there were no agents, no, you know, just word of mouth, just my hard work and what I've done, man. And I've been blessed to be in the places I've been, man. And, you know, I ain't been on the biggest, grandest of stages, but I've been on enough stages to where I've done some shit and my name's been out there, you know. I've been on flyers. I've been on tickets, you know what I'm saying? I've been in shows, and when I do a show, I bring a lot of energy, man. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff down at the back line with my homeboy Kill Theodric, who does a lot of Chocolate Saturdays down there every month. You know, a lot of First String comments be on there, you know. Speaking of the First String, you know, the First Lady of First String, Carmela Anderson, she's going, if you haven't heard her, I'm telling you, I call her the Queen of Omaha, and I'll dispute that with anybody if you want to go. You know, if you want to dispute it, she's the Queen of Omaha to me. Ain't nobody touching it right now. You know what I'm saying? And I, you know, I put my guaranteed stamp on that one. You know, and like I said, Kill, he doing big things, man. You know what I'm saying? He be back and forth from here to LA all the time, man, doing this thing. You know, my brother been in the UK. I'm blessed to have him on my team. Him and Keanu's actually got Pretty Much Entertainment, which is their entity, you know what I'm saying, their brand, and you know what I'm saying, you know, but we all got a collaboration family thing going on, you know what I'm saying. Oh man, I did forget somebody's name. I'm sorry, man, he gonna kill me. Ali Kareem, and Ali is actually going up to Colorado with me, and I'll tell you about the Colorado trip in a minute, but Ali Kareem, I'm sorry, Ali, I didn't mean to forget your name, man. I'm having one of those moments. I'll be forgetting shit, man. I got CRS.
Okay, let's you mentioned Colorado. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Colorado.
So, man, the Colorado trip came about, man. So a couple weeks ago, man, I did a show with my guys, production, Javon Van Crump and my boy Corey Foster, man. They put on a show down here in Omaha, man. They brought down Boomerang and Bubba Cool Ice, man, and me and my boy DC and Rashad went on to represent Omaha, man, and me and DC tore that shit up, got represented. You know, we did what we did, man, to where, you know, Javon was like, hey, bro, I want to put y'all on up in Colorado and, you know, bring your crew.
Talk about the brothers, though, that you had worked with that was on the MCs.
What you mean with the brothers?
On the show, at the show, the two dark-skinned brothers.
Oh, the Coffee Brothers.
Yes. Talk about
man.
the Coffee Brothers.
I love the Coffee Brothers, man. They was full of energy, man. Them brothers was hype, man. They had nothing but energy, man. I'm sorry, I did forget about the Coffee. See, I told you, thank you, man. Them brothers, man, was phenomenal, man. They put on a good show, man, and I wish I could see them up in Colorado, man, but we was going to try to be on the same booking, but Unfortunately, I had another prior engagement, but yeah, them brothers, man, they were so cool and down to earth, man. You know, after the show, we talked. They gave good advice, man. You know what I'm saying? They gave me my kudos, let me know that I did my thing, man, and we will be working together again with it. We will see Zilla and the Coffee Brothers together again, I promise you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, we did talk about local artists, and let's talk about local promoters and things that you've dealt with local promoters. How could you school some of these younger comedians when they're dealing with these promoters and some of these hole in the walls and things like that?
Man, make sure you get shit written up front. Get the stuff up front, man. You know what? I'll tell people a lot of times, man, what I do, whenever I'm getting the show involved, let me control the ticket sales.
Okay.
That way I make sure I get paid and everybody else get paid. If I put you on, I'd rather control the ticket sales because, or you know what I'm saying, or the door or something, or both. You can hold down your bar and your food.
Right.
And I'll break you off something for your services, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. But whatever it is, get shit known up front. But if you're gonna be a comic, man, and just know up front what it is. If you know you're gonna get paid a certain amount, then you know that's what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? But let it be known what it is up front. And just make sure everybody is what they is, man. You know, like I said, man, I recognize a snake to be a snake, and snakes gonna do what snakes do, snake shit. You feel me?
Right.
So, some of these promoters, man, I've dealt with some pretty cool people, man. I would stand up, man. I did the Mr. James shit. You know, the promoter, he did me right, man. You know what I'm saying? Robert was cool. You know, so I ain't got nothing bad to say about him. You know what I'm saying? But
Let's get to a different subject then. Let's get to community and how you feel about the community, and rather say community in general or the comic community here in Omaha, Nebraska.
The comedy community is that I found out, man, is pretty big right now, man, up here in Omaha, man. It was a door from when I came up, man. When I say like I went back almost 20 years, man, I could really truly say that, man. The doors is open. It's different now, man. There's clubs that cater to young, up-and-coming comics, man. And there's a lot of them out there, man. Like, I didn't even know who was out there. And a lot of them didn't even know who the hell I was. And, you know, until I, got introduced, or some of them heard me after a while. And they're like, oh, okay, I know who you is, but because I am known now as the Godfather of Omaha, and it wasn't a title that I gave myself. My peers gave me that, because of how long I've been in the game. But, I own it, you know what I'm saying? But the game, the talent here is big, man. This is pretty big now, man, And like I said, with the internet and technology, it's easy to get put out there, you know what I'm saying? I think we need more of a urban-based comedy club. I will say that. I want something a little bit more Def Jam-ish, man. The clubs, no disrespect to the backlines and the Barleys, and I never performed in the Barleys. I just won a roast battle on that motherfucker, but I never actually performed comedy up in there. I do go in there from time to time and watch comics, because I met a lot of comics in there, so I do like going in there from time to time. But I did a lot of stage time at the back line, but I'm more of a bigger crowd, more of an urban type comic, you know what I'm saying? That's where I can really get off. When I do smaller venues, or like, I'm not good at open mics. When people do like 5 minutes,
right.
It's hard for me to do those type shows because I can't really put my full energy into them like I would if I was doing maybe a 15, 25-minute set.
Right.
And I told you, I'm used to doing, when I first came back out, the show I did with Red, I actually did like 45, almost, it was damn near almost an hour.
Okay.
I did about 45 minutes to almost an hour for that show. there too. So I could go long-winded. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of talent out there, man, coming up.
Now, how you feel about Omaha in general, your community?
Omaha,
Nebraska.
How I feel about it in my community? Wow, that's a good question, man. But how I feel about it, man, I probably feel like any brother that's live in the urban community, man, and see that there's not a lot of change that benefit our people.
We're gonna wrap this up, and this is the I'm gonna say this is the first interview, hopefully out of many. And like I said, I'm Wesley Williams, aka King Wet, aka Dad. But yeah, you know, the wet daddy. But hopefully this is there'll be many more interviews after this, and we're gonna keep working this and go from there. Should be commercials and should be different things in here, you know, that's gonna promote positive things. It may seem negative, but it's gonna be positive. But some people may like it, some people may not. You know, just taking time. Yeah. Look at it. But we gonna wrap this up. This is a session, you know, and we're gonna tell this First String Comics, you know, okay, in collaboration with those One Boys.
One Boys, baby, yes.
And so we're gonna sign off.
Anyway, the reason why I brought up porno is because porno probably shouldn't be seen in 3D. To give you an example, you watch some porno, we all love porno, you know what I'm saying? You know, chicks be all up on the screen and shit, booty all up on the screen and shit, and here comes Dexter. Dexter come out on that motherfucking 3D on the screen. Man, I'm sorry for this shit. But now, you got the neck on your popcorn. What's going on there is, I'm still eating that popcorn. A little bit. I noticed again. It's just me.
I'm saying a prayer, George. Prayer for the whole world.